everybody to our the second part of our Barbenheimer review series, where today we're going to be talking about Barbie. And after seeing the movie, I felt completely underqualified to talk about it.
As you should have.
Thank you, Sam. So with me, I have two incredible guests with me. I have Samantha, who is my brother's wife, and she's lovely. And then I have Bernie, who is one of my best friend's wife, and she is lovely. And they are far more qualified to talk about this than I am.
And of course, as women, we are defined by our relationships to our men.
Exactly. So that's why I had to start with that. If you haven't seen the movie, this is very pertinent to the movie. In other words, I have two aficionados that I feel like are way more suited to talk about this movie than I am, in not only having seen... So Sam went with me to go see the Barbenheimer double feature, and then Bernie is my resident Barbie
expert aficionado.
Exactly. So I wanted to start off with just some general stuff about the movie. So tell me about your kind of like Barbie skill levels when it comes to knowing anything about this movie. Where do you guys feel like you lie in the, oh no, I going into this movie was like hyped, and then I don't really know.
In terms of the actual Barbie movie, I tried to know zero about it. I saw both of the ads. The latest trailer where they had part of the Ken song is the thing that made me go, oh, this may be a good movie.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm excited about this. But I tried to do zero research. I didn't want to look into the plot at all. Like I'm just like, it's gonna be a Barbie film, and we're gonna go with it.
There were two things that were released beforehand that I'm like, I can't believe they like spoiled this. And then going to the movie, I'm like, that wasn't spoiled at all.
Yeah.
This is just dope shit. How about you, Bernie?
I did the same. I stayed off of TikTok for a full 24 hours after it came out,
That's
which
big.
is a lot for me as a little TikTok addict here. But yeah, so I tried to know like literally nothing about the movie. I've seen all the other previous Barbie animated films though. So like there's a lot of like little Easter eggs that are in the movie that if you know, you know. But
I'm so
ready to
excited
tell
to
you.
talk about it.
Okay, I'm so excited you brought that up because I have not seen all the animated films, but I was like, I've only seen maybe one or two, and I'm like, I don't think there were any references to like the animated context, but
there was
apparently
at
there
least
was.
one or two. There's at least one or two. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good.
So excited. Oh, great. And so, yeah, I just want to start off with some very quick stuff about like the stuff, everything behind the movie. I didn't realize as a teaser trailer, they released the 2001 A Space Odyssey like intro. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
They released that?
All of it. Yeah.
Really?
Including the match cut to the title. So that's the beginning of the movie. And the other things that going in were very interesting to learn. You know that everybody's calling Barbenheimer like the two movies that are so completely separated in like tone and everything, actually do have a little bit of connection in the film world, which is really stupid.
Okay.
One of them, in 2008, Christopher Nolan released The Dark Knight in the same weekend as Mamma Mia, and it had a very similar reception where they're like, which do I choose? But then additionally, in 2020, I think it was, either 2020 or 2021, Christopher Nolan released Tenet. And when he released Tenet, he's like, this will be the movie that brings people back to the cinema. So in retrospect, hilarious. But apparently, Warner Brothers were like, well, we're a business. We don't give a shit. So they released it on HBO Max, and Christopher Nolan was furious. He publicly said, HBO Max is the shittiest streaming service. And this was like near the beginning of HBO
Max. It's just Max now.
Yeah, it's like
that's how much has passed. But Warner Brothers didn't forget, so apparently
they didn't forget.
So apparently, the reason why they released Barbie at the same time as Oppenheimer was to overshadow Oppenheimer. Because and Warner Brothers is like in the movie. They say like, well, the Warner Brothers lot, like they're mentioned in the movie. At least there are theories that's just like, wow, to get back at Nolan for one thing he said 2 years ago, they tried to upstage his next movie.
I mean, that is typical Hollywood though, right?
Yeah.
To make a major decision off of something extremely petty.
Yep.
Like, I believe that.
Yeah, that must be really fun to move so much money around that you can be so petty. That'd be great. The one interview I did want to mention is the one with Ryan Gosling as Ken. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Bernie, I think knows what I'm talking about. That I think he went on either Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the Jimmys, and they were just like, so this was in like 2020 or something when they first announced it.
Oh.
That they were like, so Ken, right? And he's just like, well, I had to wrestle with it for a bit because Greta Gerwig approached me about it, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then one day I went to my backyard and I saw a Ken doll sitting face first in the mud next to a squished lemon. And I immediately called her up and said, I will be your Ken, for this story must be told. So that's how we got the best Ken.
What you're telling me is that he did not say that he connected to Ken because his father was also disappointed in him.
If y'all don't know, Chris Pratt did an interview. It's one of our YouTube shorts, and it was in our Mario episode that Chris Pratt did an interview where they're like, what do you have in common with Mario? He's like, I could never please my father. And it's like very dour. Yeah. Let's start with Sam, go to Bernie. What'd y'all immediately think after walking out of this movie?
I thought, yeah, it was a good ride. It was
Fair.
It was an enjoyable movie. Again, I went in with zero expectations, but it was very fun and it engaged me the entire time throughout the film.
Yeah.
Like it was high energy and jokes, but also serious moments all throughout the film. Yeah, it was just good. It was well crafted, and I mean like a fun message of like self-determination and stuff.
It's so hard not to talk about, like, the commercials only show like Barbie Land. So everything outside of that for the rest of the movie is just like, I don't even know how we're...
Surprise.
Yeah. How about you, Bernie? What'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I will be buying a hard copy when it comes out. Yes. I don't know. I don't trust streaming services anymore to hold on. Like buying it on there. Did you hear about that? Like on Amazon, someone bought like a movie and then like Amazon no longer has the rights to it. So you don't own it anymore.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, so
if you buy a
copy.
digital copy of thing, it's like you're buying it to have it on Amazon.
Oh my God.
So they can just take it away. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
If only there was a bay of pirates that could save the internet. Like, that
Who
means
knew?
Nothing. Yeah, that means nothing. Don't at me.
I'm buying it and I'm hoping the DVD is pink.
Hell yeah.
But yes, loved it. It kept me engaged like the entire time. I don't think I blinked or like looked away from it. Zach like tried to give me popcorn midway through the movie, and I think I was like, no. Like, it was like reaching over me to get like the drink, and I was like, get out of here. This is the Barbie zone. Like I'm in the zone here.
Don't corrupt my viewing experience.
Yeah.
Oh, and the one other thing that I wanted to mention, like going in, was all of the marketing with like this is Ken and he's this, or this is Barbie and she's this, like the profile pictures. And that started my kind of itch in the back of my brain of like, that's the Mattel logo behind them, just in a different color, where it's like a static or whatever behind them. And so going in the movie, similarly, I was like, this feels like this is either going to be a product that's going to be annoying to watch, or they're really going to take the piss out of it. Like Greta Gerwig is like incredibly good at like saying the quiet stuff out loud, very loudly, but like in a great way. And yeah, the movie for me did a lot of that. Whereas like, I can't imagine how you could tell this story more, I don't know, it's just not even succinctly, like how you could tell this story in more of a way that's just like, this was perfect. Leaving the theater, I knew this is just great.
One thing I think I would add would be, it was always Barbie and friends, and so there was no like Teresa or like her friends like weren't really present. It was Barbie, like all the different forms that she takes, right?
Many forms.
Except for Midge.
Yes, they had Midge. There was
a representation.
Yes, there was Midge, but like I don't know, like there was just some of those like different characters and things that like weren't there that I would have liked to see as well. But otherwise, loved it.
That's fair. And yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. That the movie starts off with like all of the Barbies, and like we're not going to do like full spoilers, we're in minor spoiler territory, but starts off with like all of the different Barbies. I don't know how many Easter eggs that I missed, but like how many of those Barbies was just like, oh no, these are other the friends that they kind of shoot aside, or no, these are just straight up all the canonical Barbies.
Those were canonical Barbies, and that was like actually the first place where I cried. I cried 3 times during this movie. So the first I saw my Barbie, which was like the workout Barbie with the rainbow like leg warmers. Like that was one of my favorite Barbies. I used to also put the leg warmers on her arms to have cool arm warmers, as that became in fashion in the early 2000s. But yeah. And
then we see that they shoo aside a couple of things. They show the pregnant Barbie, which it was.
Her name is Midge.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I know
that
you
is
just
very
said
rude. Chaos.
No Midge erasure will happen on this channel.
Listen, we love Midge. She's a redhead. I'm a redhead. We love Midge.
Hell yeah. To which I had done a little bit of research, and apparently what I saw was the controversy of when that came out at the time was not only one super weird to have a pregnant like toy. But also, too, apparently the big outrage was that she was presumably out of wedlock, had this child.
Yes, she got
Like-
married in the Wedding Story
Yes.
expansion later on.
Yes, they patch notes her backstory. And I think they packaged her with like cardboard cutout family, like next to her to smooth it over, but it didn't really work
I
out.
believe they also sold her parents. 'Cause I vaguely remember. I vaguely remember like these
That's
old
quite the phrase.
Barbies. I vaguely remember these old-looking Barbies. Like they had like wrinkles by their eyes. Like I don't know if this is real or like hallucinated this, but
Oh my
I
God.
swear they may have had parents. Like
It's so good.
My goodness, I do not remember her parents' Barbie.
also on Barbie.com, you could play their wedding and decorate it the way you wish.
Bernie, I'm so happy I have you here. I would have never known that.
Yes, Barbie.com was a treasure trove. You had a B-mail.
A B-mail?
Barbie mail.
Oh,
Instead
yeah,
of an
okay.
email, it was a B-mail.
Wow. They saw Gmail and they're like, no, we got our own.
I don't think Gmail was around. It was just supposed to be email at that point. But
my
B,
God.
you
This
know,
is
Barbie
pre-Gmail.
is
it was
revolutionary.
pre-Gmail. It was like
That's-
Yahoo days and AOL.
Yes.
Like,
If I learn anything from the movie, it is that Barbie is revolutionary. Yeah, and then we have the introduction of Allan. So, Bernie, feel free to correct me. But from what I remember, Allan was a character that they introduced to be like Ken's best friend, and then everybody was like, "Oh, they gay. This is what's happening, Mattel." And then like, "Cool, no more Allan,"
Yep.
and immediately got rid of him.
Yep.
So that's why there's only the one Allan. Is that true?
yeah, he was a very short stint, and then they were like, I don't know, people were like, oh, this is gay. Like, he can wear, oh, do you wear your best friend's clothes? Do you wear Zach's clothes?
No, I
No,
do
you
not.
guys don't share clothes. That's a little gay. So,
Not really. We're also very different body types.
yes, yeah, it should be said. Yeah, so people were like taking it in a really gay direction. Mattel did not like that. So they said bye-bye to Allan. My
Poor
friend
Allan.
growing up actually had an Allan that we played with.
Really?
That's probably worth its weight in gold by
Wow.
now.
He was played with a lot.
Yeah, and then we have Weird Barbie, who was played with a lot. Yeah, wait, didn't one of them say, is like, that's what happens when you play with them too hard?
Yes.
Yep.
Did you have a weird Barbie? Because I had a slightly weird Barbie.
So I treasured my Barbies and I loved my siblings. So I grew up with like two sisters growing up. So it was like me and there's like three girls. So we had a lot of Barbie things. They made my Barbie weird. Like I think chopped off someone's hair or something. They liked the scissors a lot. They gave Bridget a haircut, like my other sister. At one point, but yeah, they were a little scissor happy, chop happy. But yeah, so I had a weird Barbie. I also had one of like the not weird Barbies, but like a Barbie that like isn't normally found in stores. If you go on a military base, it used to be you could buy armed forces Barbies.
What?
I had Barbie.
okay.
I had
Cool.
like green camo Barbie, like for
Yo,
army.
what the
And
hell?
she had
That's
dog
rad.
tags with her name on it.
What the fuck? That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the glory of like this movie, the Lego Batman movie, Into the Spider-Verse, is that there's such a rich history of these toys and properties that you could pull anything out and be like, this happened. This is real. We didn't need to make anything up.
Oh, and Mattel was just throwing Barbies left and right. Like they were, they were coming up with anything they could to get money.
Hell yeah. To which they kind of take the piss a little bit in the movie where they're just like, this will make money? Cool. Well, yeah, we'll do it. That sounds great. So I feel like now, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to go through in the non-spoiler section, but this movie goes places and I don't want to stifle our conversation. So do we feel like we're ready for spoilers?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay. So spoilers. That was the spoiler graphic. Keon, put it in. So the quickly, considering we were talking about Mattel, they are totally chill with making fun of themselves a lot, it seemed. Which I don't know is the new cool craze. You know how like Wendy's had the cool Twitter? Now it's like, oh, us production companies can just call ourselves douchebags and it's fine. Because Mattel looked like 1984. Like it looked like a prison.
It kind of reminded me of American Psycho, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just very straightforward businessmen.
Yes. Which,
Also, did you notice the cubicles did not have doors?
what the fuck?
The,
They were
the
just a
cubicles,
box.
yeah, they were a box.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Cubicles did not have doors,
This makes sense.
and it was all gray inside.
This is the best fucking movie of all time. Holy shit.
Boxes everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome. See, the design philosophy needs to be throughout. But yeah, so going back to Barbie Land, where do we want to start with the story? Where do you guys think is the proper place to begin?
when it started, I got really excited because it's gonna sound bad. I got really excited because they showed Margot Robbie's feet, and I was excited. And they did the thing where she's in like a permanent like tiptoe, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute because that's like Barbie, and like of course she doesn't have flat feet, and then that became a plot point. And I was not expected to actually be a plot point.
I'm surprised how much they just kind of took every piece of the idea where the whole please, this is the beginning of the area where I don't know shit about the female condition. We're in spoilers now. I'm here representing the patriarchy. I'm sorry. The movie talks about it heavily, so I'm here to be like, I don't know shit about shit. Please correct me.
It's all men on horses.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I found out that the patriarchy wasn't really about horses, I kind of lost interest. It's so good. This is a quote from the movie. The beginning where it starts off with like Barbie solved like misogyny. How much of that in the Barbie universe that you've seen from like, because the commercials weren't really tailored for me. That like how much of it growing up you're just like, yeah, no, this is Barbie's taken over, like is doing all the cool stuff, and I feel empowered. Did you feel any of that?
She did anything she wanted to.
That's fair.
I think like that's a good message. Like I don't know. I think it is like a good message. Like she can be this or that or the other thing. And like I don't know. Again, I grew up with like 2 other sisters at that point. And so like we had like all the Barbie things. So we had like a Barbie train and the plane and the camper and the Grand Hotel and the Dream House and like the water park.
That's awesome.
Yeah, literally like like the little tree house that they showed, we had that. We had a little Kelly remote controlled like Barbie Jeep. Like it was like a little they had like a little remote control.
I remember that.
It was for Kelly's, it was not for Barbie.
Holy shit.
Kelly is Barbie's little sister, if you don't know. She's not in the movie, unfortunately. But it was like truly like you could play and like they could be this one day or that one day. And so it was kind of interesting like having that taken because like there were 3 of us. It was like just so much stuff. So like,
fair.
I don't know. I feel like it was a lot more an expanded universe in my basement than maybe like your average girl like who doesn't have like 2 other siblings and whatnot. So
yeah, I will say for me like Barbie was fun. It was a toy. I didn't as a child think like, yes, this is empowering me. Like this is making me feel like I can do anything. No, it was mostly just like, this is a thing that I can dress up and I can play around with and they can go on adventures, all Barbies and friends.
Because that's an element going into the movie that like at the beginning where they're just like, and Barbie solved this and that. And in the real world, all of it's fixed. And like, me as a guy with no frame of reference, I was just like, is that how kids actually felt about it? So I didn't know if that was a joke or not, like legitimately.
I also think it's partially the answer to the argument that's so often put about Barbie about how she's like perfect and like she's supposed like sets unrealistic expectations for women and all this other stuff. And they're like, and so the other argument is that no, she's like empowering them and showing that you can be like whatever you want to be. So I think it's just like 2 different arguments. And that's like really an arcing theme through the entire movie as well.
And that is the like historical creation of Barbie. Like the whole, you already mentioned the ape scene. I don't remember. What movie is that?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes. You already mentioned that scene where they introduce, and that's like, that really is a condensed version of how Barbie was made. Is like, you originally had dolls that children played with, and that's all they did. And, you know, Ruth, the creator, was like, no, I wish my daughter had different toys to play with. And so found, you know, a sex doll in Switzerland and just like made Barbie from it. So again, that was the whole marketing message, is like, this Barbie is empowering. This Barbie is how to show young girls how to be nice women.
Also,
that can get men.
Oh my God.
I'd also like to add another point. So Barbie's original Dream House, I believe, was released in the 60s.
Oh.
She has a college pennant on her wall.
Oh, shit.
Like, which implies that she's educated at least to a college level.
Hell yeah.
And then like it's like a single bed, so it implies that like this is her house, like not her and a man's house. Like this is her house. Like
Oh yeah, like her and Ken could not get married. That was a big deal.
yes.
What the fuck, really?
Because as soon as they were married, they would be married, and she would no longer be the empowered figure.
Also, in the early 2000s, they broke up and they introduced someone else, and I forget his name because I hated him so much.
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh, I
his-
forgot
what's
about
his name?
that.
Aiden? No, I don't know.
I think
I
they're
don't
saving it for the
remember.
sequel.
I don't
Yes.
know. I don't remember him.
That should be
I
a
really,
sequel.
I had a great dislike of him, to the point like where I just like stopped buying Barbie men for like a moment because I was like,
Wow.
I can't. I'm like loyal to Ken. Like we gotta have Ken. Also, Ken never had blonde hair.
Oh, you're right.
Ken
yeah.
had brown hair.
What the
I did.
fuck? Yeah.
I did have to look it up. Ken originally had blonde hair back when he was first made. So like the Ryan Gosling Ken looks a lot like the 60s Ken.
Okay. Because yeah,
And
from
then they
Toy
changed
Story,
them, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Ken in Toy Story had brown hair.
Yeah, and that's the more recent one that I think still continues. Yeah, and the one that like we had probably as children.
My Ken was like jacked. He had like really nice abs.
And don't worry, Ryan Gosling made sure to
Oh,
bring
yeah.
that to the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, bringing up Ken, similarly, like I did not have that perspective as a kid. None of my action figures, dolls, action figures had a bed or a diploma on the wall. Like it was more.
You didn't have the Boba Fett bed?
Oh, I'm so sorry. In the Slave One, yeah, the Boba Fett bed and his degree on the wall. Yeah,
His bounty hunting degree.
yeah, exactly. Got it from Mandalorian High. Yeah. Yeah, like none of those things were primed for us growing up, and I appreciate that snuck its way into the movie. That once the dolls in the himbo Kens finally like hear about patriarchy, they just turn into like not even GI Joes, but just like the quintessential like male action figures that are like now I have a big car and I have a what was it, a Dojo Casa house.
Yeah.
And like
Yes.
dumb
Mojo
bullshit.
Jojo Casa House.
Yeah. And so all of those elements of how little like the toys at the time that were made for boys had to do with any of those other elements were like cool explosion and fight and karate chop, and the entire Ken experience in the movie was a good perspective from me who knew nothing about any of this to be like, oh no, this is shit that I used to do that was cringe. As like, I think this movie for both, well, I don't know about women, but like for men, this is, if you're 13, this is PG-13, this is quintessential watching. You need to go see this because it will hopefully give you the cringe moments of like, oh no, I do that. I should fucking stop. In particular, there was a scene where Ken is like playing all the Kens are like playing
The guitar?
music.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
As
wonderful.
soon as the Barbies took out their phones, I
Yeah.
died. Like literally my heart imploded. I was like, oh no.
Well, I
Like,
was watching that as a woman. I was like, wow, I've been on this date. I know where this goes. I was expecting it to be Wonderwall though. Like,
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gave me, as some motherfucker that doesn't like, there was so much about this movie I just couldn't grasp. I was like, oh no, is this how women feel relatively often? And I wanted to get that perspective of like, do you guys feel like it was a really good representation of like, yeah, guys just don't understand that. Like, I felt like I was walking into a secret society meeting of the Freemasons where I was just like, holy shit, I didn't know this world existed.
I thought it was pretty surface level what women feel. So Keanu, I'm
Yeah.
surprised you felt like you were entering a secret society.
It was more of like the secret handshake kind of thing where it's just like, oh no, this is stuff that's obvious for women that I knew about, but the way that it was being joked about, I'm just like, oh fuck, yeah, this is, I've read an article about this once. I don't live it every day. You know, like you feel that?
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely like felt some of it where like, I mean, I agree. It was like pretty surface level, but just like the whole all in your face at one time of like, you can't be too much of this, and you can't be too pretty, but you can be pretty enough, and you can't do that, but you can only do this so much of this and that and other thing. So like, yeah, like, I don't know. I've definitely felt that at times, but like, again, it's like pretty surface level what they keep it at the movie. But yeah, having it all at once was like kind of crazy to hear, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, having the whole like rant of what women have to be and how contradictory is, and then also starting with it like appearance and weight. It was very on point because
Fair.
that's
And then, the narrator says this, like, if you want to make this, no, don't cast Margot Robbie, the main character, to call them ugly.
Yeah.
They start off, like, saying all of this stuff about, like, the standards for women. And it's being said by America Ferrera, gorgeous. But she played, and I thought it was very poignant, she played Ugly Betty when she still looked very pretty playing Ugly Betty.
Yeah.
But the whole conceit was that, ooh, she's gross.
Keon, the scene when they were so when they were doing the montage of the women like doing things to distract the men, and the scene of like they're just wearing glasses. And you just take them off to be pretty, like died. That was so relevant. Like,
So good. It's like, oh my god.
That's the Ugly Betty experience.
Yes, I just love takes off the glasses like now everyone can see your beautiful eyes. So stupid.
Perfect.
Now I can't see them.
Holy, see that I wouldn't have thought about that shit. Damn. And similarly during that montage, God, I cringed so hard when they were just like, oh my god, The Godfather. I've never watched this. Could you please talk over the whole fucking movie? I'm like, oh no, I see myself in this and I don't like it.
I was watching this and I was like, well, I've been on that date too. Like, but it was Pulp Fiction, not The Godfather.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I mean about like the secret society mentality that I just was getting let in on, is how much I'm just like, oh my god, this is shit nobody had ever pointed out to me that I'm like, yeah, this is a universal thing that happens that guys just don't fucking think about.
Yes.
Like, oh, we like to do this, therefore you would want to do this. Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
We're just being nice.
Yes, exactly. Every teenage boy, please go see Barbie.
Save yourself a couple dates.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Learn a bit more about yourself. Which, was kind of Ken's whole arc, is self-actualizing about like, I don't need to be like define myself based on my relationships. Wow. This movie felt like everyone's quarter life crisis.
I am Knuff.
Yes. I need that fucking shirt.
It's sold on Mattel.com, but it's all sold out right
Oh,
now.
of course it is.
Of course
But
it
like,
is. Hell yeah.
when it comes back, best believe, Zach, you'll get it.
From the Barbie side, where do you guys want to go with this?
I want to talk about the mermaids.
Yes, go,
I
please.
love the mermaids.
Okay, so the blue-haired mermaid, little nod to, I don't know, it's like not confirmed anywhere online, but I thought it was a nod to Nori and Barbie in Mermaidia, which was an animated movie released in 2006, and there's a dark blue-haired Barbie named Nori who looks exactly like that.
Oh my god, there's so much of the background stuff. Did you guys want to talk about the Weird Barbies that showed up later?
I could talk about the Weird Barbies all day.
Sure.
Yes. Please, Bernie. I had pointed out, I had done a little bit of research before seeing the movie and knew about some of the rejected Barbies. And then I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And as soon as they go to the Weird Barbies house, I'm like, is this where all the reject Barbies went? And so, Bernie, please regale us.
Okay, so there's the dog. Let's start out with the dog. So there was a dog sold in like, I don't know, I think like the early 2000s, maybe late 90s or something, that like you would feed the dog would eat, and then it would like walk and it would lift its tail and like it would shit. And it's like the same color, it was like the exact same thing, you like fed it or whatever. It was like really interesting. I had it and then I suddenly did not have it because it was released, it was a choking hazard for kids.
That makes
and I
Did
had
you not
two younger.
eat the pellets?
No, they were plastic.
Why
They were
would
not-
you eat
They were
the
not
pellets?
They were
Tic Tacs.
jelly beans. They look like jelly
No,
beans.
they-
This is why it was a choking hazard, Keon.
And I
See,
was
and
like-
why you can't market it to boys? I would have eaten
And
it.
as the oldest of three, my mom was like, "No, we're throwing this away."
Fair.
Yeah, so that got thrown away. But yeah, I had the dog for a very short moment. And then there was Magic Earring Ken, who also showed up later.
Go on.
Who is my favorite thing to talk about. So he has an earring, and I forget what side it's on, but it's the one that used to mean in like the 90s that you were like gay. And then also in the movie, he does not have it, but in the doll, he wears a necklace and has a little circle on it, because the way the doll came about was, I believe Mattel had released some people to go throughout like New York and see like, what are all the hot guys wearing? And it was like a thing for gay men to wear cock rings around their necks, like on a chain. And so they were like, that's what a hot guy is wearing. Yes, we'll put it on. They
It's
didn't
just
know it was a cock
fashionable.
ring. They just thought it was just like a little circle. And then it was revealed after the release that it was in fact a cock ring. And everyone's like, Ken's gay. And then Mattel was like, we can't have this gay thing again.
Oh my god.
So Ken's not gay. God damn it. So then he was taken away, which was a sad day. A Barbie that was not featured in the Weird Barbie that I think should have been, I think it was called Magic Jewel Barbie.
Oh.
So she was supposed to be dressed like a pop star.
Okay.
And like I had her when I was a kid. Her belly was squishy.
Oh.
It was like
interesting.
squishy, and she came with jewels, so you could like pierce her belly button, like it was supposed to be kind of like Britney Spears. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that makes
But like
sense.
not Britney Spears. But then they had the like, what was it? The Magic Movie Barbie or
Yes,
something.
yeah.
I didn't have her or like any like real anything to say about her, but she has a camera on her back, which is insane.
I have a lot to
Insane.
say about it.
Oh,
Please go on.
So before, I think it was on like Monday or Tuesday night, we met up for a family dinner for my mom's birthday, and I just had done a lot of research, so I just started regurgitating at Sam and Cameron about all of these weird Barbies, and as soon as I saw the camera Barbie, I was like, y'all are really bringing this shit up? The camera Barbie, was just, okay, we put, as a part of her necklace was like a camera lens, and then lower back was the screen. And at the time, it's like, oh, I could take video maybe or something, like a little bit of that digital camera age. The place where this got rejected and into controversy is that the police started saying that, hey, the whole idea was like, okay, if you're going into a house with kids and some sort of problem might have been happening, don't neglect certain items that can be indicative of a problem. So one of them might be a phone camera. One of them might be a Barbie camera. So everybody was thinking like, oh, like the whole idea was like, hey, don't neglect these evidence items. The way the media took that is like, people that do abuse children are using Barbie cameras to conceal their abuse. And so everybody's just like, wow, okay, don't buy any of these. And I think they all got like either banned or destroyed, or like there was a whole thing where like people were like destroying them in stores. And so every store is like, I don't think this is remotely worth it, this digital camera Barbie. So for them to put him in the movie, I'm just like, cool. Everyone else, Google that later.
Oh my gosh, I did not know.
Yeah, and then didn't they also have the Barbie with the arm where you pull the arm down?
Oh yeah, like the
boobs
growing up
inflating?
Stacy.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
growing
that's
up
real.
Stacey, yeah.
It wasn't Barbie. It was a different character.
Stacy's her younger sister.
Oh, okay,
But
wasn't
she's
it?
younger than Skipper. Skipper
which
is
one's
slightly
Skipper?
older. Skipper is also Barbie's younger sister.
Oh my god, I didn't-
Barbie has an extensive family.
Yes, she also has a younger sister named Kelly, and then younger than her is Chrissy.
I can't wait for the Fast and the Furious Barbie movie where it's about family. That's all of them. The movie did a pretty good job of simplifying that to show like, look at all these cool toys. There's a bunch you don't fucking know about, but like this will make it digestible for you in this one movie.
There are a lot of Barbie toys. I cannot emphasize enough, a lot of Barbies and all different outfits, because another big point was like selling the outfits so you can put on the outfits. It was a whole razor blade model. And so there's a lot of merchandise out there. So yeah, they had to do some editing. They had to condense things.
Yes. To which, okay, there was one moment that kind of took me out of the movie that I just don't know if I missed the reference, which is when Barbie is getting rejected by Ken to like come back to her house. And so it's like a down moment. I'm like, oh no, Barbie. And then they kind of broke that moment to be like, and take this, and like starts throwing all of these outfits.
Oh, yeah.
And was that like, is that how they showed them in the commercials or something? Like I missed something, I feel.
I don't know that they were necessarily like shown like that in the commercials, but I think like that's similar to like what the packaging of just like the standalone outfits like kind of looked like back in the day.
That's what I thought, and I was trying to look it up, but I think that's what the package looked like. It kind of did the like, da-da, like this is the outfit. And I do like America Ferrara? Is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I do like her saying how like, oh, that's expensive, and like, oh, that's like a collector's item, because like, yeah, Barbie is also a collector's item. There are collector Barbies. There's a fine line of Barbies that you get where like you have actual designers designing Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So at one point, Ken wore like a tracksuit with like a bunch, it was like pink, and I think it said like Barbie all over it or something.
Okay.
I want to say that was a nod to, I think they did a collab with Moschino a while ago, and I want to say that was perhaps a nod to it.
There were so many outfits in it. Like, I'll link this video in the description. I think it's by Pentax Productions. And they're a small channel, but like this video went viral about how much, going back to it, Oppenheimer and Barbie had in common in the production. That like Oppenheimer is incredible reproduction of this point in time, and they did a lot of set design and a lot of things to make it look exactly how it was supposed to. And apparently, yeah, Greta Gerwig and like the entire production team behind Barbie took so much time and effort to not only do that, but also that like Margot Robbie and her husband, are one of the production companies that helped put this together. And that everyone behind the scenes like had a vision that they tried to make work instead of a movie that would have been like, oh, cool, here's kind of the idea of Barbie. What was that one movie with Tyra Banks that was in, See, you knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about. It was like a Disney Channel movie. And it was, a doll comes to life and teaches the little girl a life lesson and she learns herself. And I got those vibes from this. So I'm like, are they gonna redo that? But they did it in a way better way. And that's what I felt if a lesser creator were behind this. It would have turned into that, but this had so much into it, like costumes and everything.
Oh, should we actually talk about the plot?
Sure. Yeah, let's go into it.
Basically, the plot is that Barbie is the stereotypical Barbie, that is Margot Robbie. She is kind of losing her Barbiness and she's starting to have dark thoughts of death.
And cellulite.
And cellulite. Very relevant. And so she has to go onto an adventure into the real world in order to find who is the little girl playing with her and try and help her experience, because that is bleeding over into the Barbie world, which we, spoilers, find out that it is not a little girl. It's a middle school girl's mother who happens to work at Mattel, but who is like playing with the Barbie and like thinking of all these things because she's just sad that her middle school child is drifting away from her, which is also a nice. Again, something I didn't expect from a Barbie film, to have a nice little package of family. I guess that reminds me of the Lego movie, like, and that was a point of that movie. You know, inside this crazy Lego world is also the story of a dad not spending enough time with his kids. And this is a story of like the mom feeling like the daughter's drifting away from her and how to reconnect with that. Like,
wasn't the dad also
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell, thank you. Oh my god, yeah, that was the dad in Lego, wasn't he?
Yes, exactly.
Crossover.
And when they go to Mattel and meet with America Ferrera and she realizes like what's going on, how much of it is just so good about how like Barbie shows up and she's like, cool, can I meet the woman in charge? And he's like, no, that's me, I'm this old white guy. And how much of them are see, this is the element of like, okay, this is Mattel, they can't take too much of the piss, but like it starts off as like, oh, Mattel are the bad guys, but then you find that like Ken and the patriarchy and like the influence of like male chauvinism are of course like the ultimate societal bad guy, and that when Will Ferrell shows up in the Barbie world, it's like, I've learned a valuable lesson, and don't worry, I'll go back to being a rich CEO anyway. But like that his entire and Mattel's entire idea of like Barbie, even though it's a rich white guy, is like, well, we still want this to be an empowering thing for women. Don't worry, we had one female CEO and another one at some point. It's like, okay, cool. Are you guys really doing that much? Like, goddamn. So there was like, they were still taking the piss a little bit at Mattel, but also like trying to show that like they're not all the bad guys, that we swear. They have people's best interests at heart. It was one of those moments where I'm like, this is kind of nice, but also kind of, I get that you guys are like, it's a soulless corporation.
I mean, they can't just completely say like we're awful. Like that would be a lot. They're still capitalism machine.
Yes.
So,
Which, my God, they said the word capitalism a lot, and I don't know what everyone's temperament is now for hearing that, because I remember there was a time where it was just like, and I think that now people are getting more and more upset about hearing that, or more and more empowered about hearing that. And this movie, I think, is going to appeal to the people that are just like, yeah, capitalism, what the fuck? Like, it kind of sucks. But I'm not looking forward for the next week and a half of just people being like, Barbie movie too woke, this bullshit, fuck you, you know? Like, goddamn. Yes, it's too woke. That's the fucking point. That's
my
like
Barbie movie had women in it. What's up with that?
There's an unmarried pregnant woman.
Yeah, shit, you're right. That was one of the first Barbies we meet. Yep. Very empowering. So then America Ferrera meets with Barbie, and then where do we go from there?
But you missed the part where she meets Ruth for the first time.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
She, like Barbie's like running around town headquarters, and then like runs into the side room, and it's like just like an old woman sitting in like a kitchen, and they're just trying to figure out like what's going on. And then she's like, "Come sit down. Here's some tea." And then she struggles to drink the tea, which I thought was really cute. But yeah, she meets Ruth, which we don't find out until later. So like spoilers, I guess. So she was like the creator of Mattel, who modeled it or named it after her daughter, who's also named Barbara. Yeah.
And fun fact, Ken is named after her son, Ann Ken.
Oh.
Wait, really? Wait, what? Okay.
Sorry, I had to. No, but actually is named after her son, Kenneth.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be like Kendall, like in Succession.
No.
Yeah.
This is not the Succession family.
Get it? Kendall? Kendall?
Oh.
I'm a genius. Wasn't that a thing? There was a couple that were trying to like model their bodies after they got so much plastic surgery.
They weren't a couple. They actually hated each other. I remember that. She was on My Strange Addiction, and like they were both addicted to plastic surgery. And like I don't know, I went down the rabbit hole at like 3 a.m. and like as like a child, like down this weird Ken rabbit hole. But yeah, he wanted like he didn't like want to actually bulk up and get abs and like actually have to gain weight. So he had like silicone like you can get boobs, like right? Like
Sure,
there's silicone like things or whatever.
Yeah.
He got them for abs and also like his like arms.
What the fuck?
It's like all silicone, which I think is insane.
Holy shit. Because yeah, I remember I
And his
thought
face
he
looks
changed.
so scary.
Yes. I thought, didn't he change his name to Kendall for Kendall?
Now I think
Maybe.
I heard they're no longer identifying as a man.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
a woman
Well, good
now.
for them.
Yeah, good
Okay,
for them.
cool.
Finding themselves through plastic surgery.
Hell yeah, which this
Yeah.
movie is also about finding yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about perfection, everyone. So they leave the place and they I appreciate that they didn't do the quintessential like, oh, we need to hide Barbie. Let's go back to our house that's kind of frumpy and blah 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 and we'll formulate a plan. They're like, no, let's go back to fucking Barbie world. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
We'll go back to Barbie's house. And then they see the what patriarchy has wrought to the Barbie universe, where Ken joined Barbie to go to the real world because he's just like, I am nothing without my partner. I don't know if men ever deal with that. And then by going there and pushing himself in the situation, he then finds out that the real world, is... I felt very guilty watching this fucking movie. And so then it gets all of these books about the patriarchy. It's like, I would like one patriarchy, please. And then brings that back to the Barbie world. And I loved America Ferrera saying like, oh, it's like smallpox with indigenous people that like, they're just not, this has not even been a thought in their minds. And now they don't have any defense mechanisms into it.
They have no immunity.
Yeah, that was it.
Well, I also thought it was funny, like scaling it back a little bit, or taking it back a little bit, was like when Ken was going around like trying to get all his resources and like trying to find a job in the real world. He's like, I want to be a doctor. They're like, I'm not gonna let you do a surgery. He's like, I want to speak to a real doctor. And there's a woman talking to him. She's like, I am a doctor. And then he's like, oh no, that guy in the white lab coat, and like walks over to him. The other one, he like interviewed somewhere else, and he's like, what do you mean you need an MBA? I am just a white man.
It's like, how could I not get a job?
Was it? I think they said like we're still doing patriarchy. We're just a little quieter now.
Yes. Oh god. Oh, and then the guy, because the guy seemed like kind of frumpy, and he's just like, oh yeah, no, you need this and this and this, and then he's just like, you guys are doing patriarchy wrong, and then he like perks up. He's just like wink. It's like, Jesus, oh my heart.
And the lifeguard of like interviewing of them. Oh well, like I can't swim. I can't save people, but I can beach. And he's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
People need help over there, not here.
And then he's beach Ken. He doesn't have any actual like transferable skills. He's just does beach.
I also thought the construction worker scene was just like hilarious.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, where like they walk up to those construction workers, they're like, "Where are all the women?" And they were just like catcalling the heck out of Barbie. Like,
that was an affront to the senses. And they're like, "Wow, it's weird that noon on a weekday, I couldn't find any women at this construction site." And then we go back to Barbie Land. Do we think was there anything else to talk about during that horrific montage?
Journey that they had to take both to the real world and then back to Barbie Land, where it's like you gotta roller skate and then hop on the bike and then hop on a like snowmobile and then onto a boat and then back in your car.
Yep, take the spaceship.
Oh yeah. Even when they were going back, Ken still wasn't on the spaceship. He was like flying backwards. It's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, more product placement because all things.
And so they go back and Ken has convince the other Kens that like, don't worry, the one where we're on top is the better one, which. Yeah, I could see them seeing that. I could see the idea.
I do love that the message they use to convince the other Barbies of like to go along with their plan is like, aren't you tired of working?
Yeah.
Aren't you like tired of doing things?
There's the trad wife dream. Yeah, like the r/trad wife. Yeah.
Which is like the real argument a lot of people make to like keeping stereotypical male-female roles is just like, don't you not want to work? Don't you just want to be in the idea that just being in the home is not working? You're not doing things all day. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Like that. I think I read an r/am I the asshole story that was exactly that, where it's just like, I'm out all day doing this, and this, and everyone in the comment is like, you are a piece of shit. Like, she's working just as hard as you, if not harder. Calm the fuck down. And we have all of that with the Kens just convincing all of the Barbies to wear horrible things and get them a brewski beer. Was that the...
Yes.
In the mini fridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I also thought was funny the way they phrased it, like a brewski beer, like, 'cause that sounds like something a child would overhear, like at a barbecue or something. It looks like a guy, like one of the dads saying, like, "Hey, get me a brewski beer," or whatever, and like the child just says that, like to their Barbies, like, "Get me a brewski beer."
Yeah,
exactly.
As much as we say that like the Barbie land originally is kind of like surface level ideal woman, the Ken version of patriarchy is like surface level ideal man, and like they're just gathering the little tidbits and rolling with it, which is great. That feeds into the movie.
Yes, exactly. That like Mattel, all of their messaging is meant for children. So Barbie's Land is just a child's idea of like, this is what empowerment looks like. This is what patriarchy looks like. This is what any of that looks like. And that putting all of that together in, the most childish way, it was so entertaining. And that they're just like, and I have a cool mini fridge, and I got a big car, and I'd ride horses. And this is what being a man is. Like, Jesus.
Oh, a horse is just an extension of you.
God, I forgot about that. But I really thought about it. We have the revolution from the Weird Barbies perspective. And they assemble all of the other weird misfit toys, and they start their plan. And their plan ultimately, was that empowerment speech, more or less, or not even that, just saying like, isn't this all bullshit, more or less? Like, what do you guys think about that part?
I thought that was cute. I thought it was a cute way to solve it. The other Barbies that are kind of brainwashed, they snap them out of it by giving a form of like, reminding them of all the stuff they had and being like, oh yeah, I am the president.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I am.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I don't want to just like wear a maid outfit all day. And so, which again, like, I think it feeds well into the movie. Obviously, that's not how you would solve anyone to like, reevaluate their gender roles, but like it feeds into you're at a child toy level understanding of people and trying to reveal that to them.
And that's what I think this movie does so well, and movies in general, that like Greta Gerwig understands. Something that really frustrates me is whenever you see those like analysis of movies online that's just like, this person would totally know how to do this or this. It's like, it's a fucking story. They're fucking symbols. So especially that Barbie is a symbol, that like Greta Gerwig would put it together, or whoever wrote it would put it together in the way of like, these are all symbols that I'm trying to align to show you how this would work out. This ain't fucking real. Like, no, that's not how you actually convince someone to have agency over their life, but it works out. Like, it makes sense. Oh, they distract the Kens in the scene that hurt
but
me.
we're skipping my favorite part.
Oh, yeah.
Where they went and they said, like, it was like so Barbie like passes out on the ground after like finding out that Ken has like destroyed her world. And then all of a sudden there's like a commercial break and it's like, depression Barbie.
I forgot about that.
Oh, wonderful.
She's gonna watch BBC's Pride and Prejudice on repeat and fall asleep with chips in her bed.
That hurt me. I'm
like, I'm in this picture and I don't like it.
Yes.
God, and I appreciate that America Ferrera is just making all of these weird Barbies. It's just like existential dread Barbie, death, constantly thinks about death Barbie, and it's the kind of thing where you grow up with something, and I think that all of us and like the millennial generation are understanding that like we're marketed so much as kids to all these toys that once you grow up, you're just like, I kind of want to go back to that, but like for my current problems. And here's my current problems. Yeah.
I believe that's what The Sims is for. Like,
fair.
Also, just like interestingly enough, like with the marketing of this movie, like they are trying to like play really hard into like the millennials loving of their old toys and things like that. Like, so you've got ruggable rugs, and like Baze has suitcases, and like everything in like Barbie pink. That's like now for adults.
Yeah, fair.
Whereas I've only seen a few things really, like Barbie, like dolls wise for the movie.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
But compared to the marketing for other things, they're marketing more towards like adults.
Yeah, I remember the
than, like,
Oppenheimer.
kids.
Yeah, you could buy a nuke and you could put it in your basement. Yeah.
No, well, and I mean, this is PG-13
Yes.
movie, right? So like, this isn't actually for the children Barbies are made for.
That's
It's
fair,
made
yeah.
for us who grew up with Barbies.
Yeah, fair.
Like, that's what this is. So it makes sense that all the marketing for it is really not, unlike the Lego movie, that is an actual children's film.
Well, every moment in this movie, considering that a lot of it was already a playset or already a costume or outfit, the entire time I was thinking, I'm like, that's gonna be a toy, that's gonna be a toy, and I'd buy the shit out of it. Like that, it all looks great. And yeah, we arrive at the fucking the Ken War. I was telling Cameron in an Oppenheimer movie, because we started talking about like war's bad. I'm like, if you want to see an actual movie about why war is bad, go watch the Barbie movie. That the Kens they finally have their beach off, where they beat each other off. Immaculate, incredible.
I was so excited during that song. I think my face was at a constant like. Because that just hit my like musical theater soul. Like it just was wonderful.
That dance number.
Yes, having a coordinated dance off and like a plain white.
It was like
background. Oh,
I don't know. It reminded me of like Grease Lightning meets like West Side Story.
Yes.
It was excellent, and it was just like the most macho moments of like musical like theater history that you could possibly think of to put in a movie, and it's like, here you go.
Yeah.
All in one little neat package.
Beautiful.
I mean, you could tell they gave a shit about like almost every big moment in this movie. Like starting from the 2001 references, like, oh my god, this is gonna be a thing.
And then they get done with the song, and they're all of course, again, musical theater, they have a song and they work out all their problems and they get done with it. And then one of them just whispers, weren't we supposed to like vote?
Yeah, exactly. Don't we have other shit to do today? Yeah. It works out in a way that felt, okay. So as a guy seeing this movie, felt bad in two ways. One was like, oh, is this what women go through often, where they are circumvented? Their interests are circumvented because they were distracted and something else happens where men mobilize to do stuff against their interests. Kind of happened in the world a little while ago. But then also, at the very end of the movie, they're like, and now they might get one Senate seat, so they might have as much power as women do.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh no! And I get it's all jokes, but like I was like, this is written about something.
It's a joke, but it's also the real world.
Yeah.
Jokes are funny when they have a bit of truth in them.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The revolution works. They get back in power, and overall, I appreciate that the Mattel guy comes back. He's like, don't worry, everything's gonna go back to normal. It'll all be the exact same.
And they're like, we already fixed it. Like, we're good. Yeah.
Well, and the exec's like, what's America Ferrera pitch? I forget which Barbie she pitches. The everyday, like, normal,
That was
achievable
it.
thing, which, like, is funny because that was their latest, like, late aughts campaign was that.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole,
shit, okay.
there was all the media hype of like, you're now having Barbies in different like shapes and sizes.
There's taller
okay.
Barbies
Yeah.
and shorter
Yeah,
Barbies.
okay.
They're not all one thing.
Yeah, you're reflecting the everyday experience and stuff. And that's the pitch. And he's like, no, that we could never do that. And be like, yeah, it's going to be a hit. Yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah, of course. What a great idea. Yeah. And that harkens back to the opening song where they show all of the Barbies. It's like the Hey Barbie song. And it was really lovely. But you see all of those different types of Barbies. And I think that's the moment that all the incels would either, they'll probably scream out of the theater and be like, too woke, I hate it, wow, my eyes. And so I think that the movie did a fucking incredible job of that. From my surface level understanding of Barbie and the patriarchy. So what'd you guys think of, like, now that we've kind of capsulated, or is there anything we missed?
The actual end of the film,
Yeah.
it ends on ending stereotypical Barbie's journey. Is they do, because they do the whole revolution.
Yeah.
And then they go back to Margot Robbie, who's like, yeah, but I'm still affected.
Oh,
My
shit,
story
you're right.
isn't over.
I totally forgot about that.
And that's when Roof has to talk to her and like do a whole, Harry Potter Dumbledore
Yes,
scene.
you're right, yeah. Don't worry, Warner Brothers knows what the fuck they have.
Oh my god, right.
God.
That is a Warner Brothers.
Yes,
right?
yeah. To which there was an image, and I'll see if I can find it and put it up now. Bernie, I don't know if you know anything about Evangelion. Do you know Evangelion at all?
No.
One of the most influential like anime movies of all time came out in the 90s called The End of Evangelion, and it like sucked the soul out of everyone that watched it. And so there was an image of like, in one of the anime characters, it's like their head on the ground, like looking, and it's like deep in the background. It's a giant head. It's fucking
like
weird.
on the poster.
Yes, on the poster. If I showed you it, you might recognize it.
Okay.
They did that with Barbie, and it said the end of Barbie. It's like ridiculous. But then at the very end of the movie, like at the end of Evangelion, there's a moment where everybody's clapping and they said congratulations, and then the character has a self-actualization moment. And so when everybody's like, bye Barbie, and they're clapping, and then I think either you or Cameron turned to me and it's just like, yeah, no, it's like congratulations. And then Barbie goes through a white void and is self-actualized. This is the end of Evangelion. What the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
That was a really sweet moment that she's like just walking with Ruth and like realizing what she actually wants to be, and she's changed. So, what'd you think of the very last joke, what the appointment that she had?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That-
About that.
I thought it was funny because I think it actually means, she became a person. She became like a human,
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, because like at the beginning, they go up to the construction workers like, well, joke's on you. He doesn't have a penis and I don't even have genitals. So there.
That was a moment that I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not PG.
Yeah.
That was the moment?
There were
The
many.
last moment of the film?
No, when they talk to the construction workers.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant-
Not when they say the word gynecologist. Yeah, I thought that was a good button on it to show that, she's finally a human, but here's a little joke about it.
They did have to beep the F word when the president came down the stairs because
Oh,
Mattel
wonderful.
told them that
Of
they
course.
weren't allowed to.
Oh, yeah, wait, because it's PG-13. They should be able to.
They're allowed one. Yeah, you get
What
one.
the fuck?
Yeah, Mattel said no, Barbies can't say the F word.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I do
Even the
like.
president.
I do like that there were, I think, brought up twice the joke of how Ruth had tax fraud. So
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Fun fact about the creator of Barbie.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about the movie now that we've encapsulated the whole thing? I know we gave our reviews at the very beginning, but any thoughts about what you thought about like how the audience might view this, how you might view this? I think I'm going to be thinking about this far longer than a lot of other movies I've seen in recent history. And I think before the cameras rolled, we even said like, this beat out Oppenheimer. This is the one. This will outlast it. So
Yeah, it's a lasting film. I don't know. Like I honestly like I don't buy a lot of things like on hard copy, but I'm like, this is something that I want to be able to watch whenever I want to watch it. Yeah. So yeah, I would do it. I would buy it in hard copy.
It's a fun movie. It's a funny movie. It has a good message, and it's just it's a solid film.
hell yeah, I agree. And so speaking of hard copy things and things you can have in the real life, Bernie, as a gift for sitting out this whole thing with us, I have a present for you that's on the table behind you that I would like for you to open on screen. I'll fix it in post, don't worry. And there's some scotch tape. I'm sorry. I didn't think the scotch tape was enough, so I did the black tape.
Wild tape
Oh my
job.
god, is this the popcorn bucket?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So the audience might not know, at AMC you could purchase a popcorn,
Margot.
and it came with a Margot Robbie from the movie Barbie doll and her dream car. And I don't know why they did that, because sometimes dude, I was
The
telling
seats
Zach.
come out, right?
Wait, do they actually?
Yeah, that's what I saw online yesterday.
Oh,
after
okay.
I was
I think
I thought I heard
touching,
like the seats come out.
I think
so
these
that,
should open.
No, the doors don't open. The trunk doesn't open. Well, I've read the
trunk
review
doesn't
online. No, so like Barbie will fit in here,
Yeah.
but then like
Weird.
I heard the seats come out so that like popcorn doesn't get stuck under there. But I don't
Nice.
want to like contraptionize
okay.
it right now. But
Because I
yes.
thought because the Transformers one,
Yes.
I think the front of it came open, right?
So from what I remember for the Transformers one, no idea if we'll ever release that review. We literally go over the whole thing. That the back is for popcorn, the front is for a drink, and it's actually, from what I saw, like watertight, so you can pour a drink into Optimus Prime's chassis and then drink from a
What?
straw. It's weird. I need to release that video now. But yeah, when I was looking at the Barbie car, I was like, I don't know if there's a good place to put popcorn in here. I think they just wanted to release a car in theaters.
I think it comes out. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I'm afraid.
But yes, Bernie, I thought it was only fitting that I get this for you.
I love her. I love it. Thank you.
And to which the audience needs to understand that we had seen Barbie, went to dinner, came back, I wanted a drink, and then saw that like somebody had just bought the Barbie car ahead of me. I was like, wait, do you still have them? They're like, it's Thursday night. The movie hasn't been out for more than 24 hours. Yes, we have it. I'm like, okay, can I get one? And so I walked into Oppenheimer with a Barbie, like everything. That was actually a very wholesome situation because I think everybody was at least more than 50% of the audience had just come from Barbie to see Oppenheimer when we saw it.
Yeah.
So
there were a lot of people that did the Barbenheimer thing
Hell yeah,
when we
especially
saw them on Thursday.
yeah, especially on a Thursday night for
Yeah.
opening weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Bernie and Sam, for being here with me. I think I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time.
Thank you. I did.
And yeah, I'd go do a Barbenheimer.
it.
Please.
Go do it.
Enjoy the movie. It's required watching at this point. I think every 13-year-old needs to see the goddamn film. So yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Barbie.
Bye, Barbie.